This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2018 Bullet Crossfire model 1750 RK. Alright, I'm here on the door side of the trailer at the rear, and you can see you've got a power awning with an LED strip, stabilizer jacks that are scissor jacks that crank down. You can use the 3/4 inch crank with them, or a 3/4 inch socket on a electric drill, which is most people use these days. Okay, that's just your furnace output there. That's power for the outside. You had outside speakers. You have an outside shower with hot and cold water for hosing down kids, dogs, and feet, and bicycles, or whatever you need to hose down. You have your water heater. The controls are inside the trailer. I'll show you those when we get there. I just want to show you that this is empty now, and this is the plug, and the plug goes right in there, so you know. You have to remember that you never light the water heater, you never power it up unless there's water in the tank. So you always got to make sure there's water in the tank. You would do that by hooking up your city water and then just turning on the hot water valve inside, for example. And if it's empty, it'll be spitting out air, and as it fills, it'll get more water. It'll be a combination of air and water, but when it spits out solid water, you know that it's full. All right. Okay, this is your hitch. It's a Husky center line weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. It's a real nice one, and we'll show you how that operates when you get here. Also, you can refer back to the Husky Centerline website and follow the links to their hookup video if you need to refresh your memory at all the first couple times you use it. All right, so you got a deep cycle marine battery. You got two 20-pound LP tanks. Okay, this is an automatic changeover regulator. This is not a changeover. This is just a gauge. You point it at the tank you want to check, basically, and it'll turn black if the tank is empty. All right, but it'll switch over automatically. It draws one down, then the other one, then back and forth. Okay. Let me see if we got anything else here to bring to your attention. Nope, we're all good there. This little port here is just for a solar battery charger. If you wanted to get a solar panel to charge the battery, you would plug it in right there. All it'll do is charge the battery, though. It's not going to power the trailer or anything like that. Okay. All right. So this is your power cord here. It's a 30-foot, 30-amp cord. This is your dump hose here for your to dump your tanks into the dump station. This is just a reducer here to reduce your 30-amp cord down to a 15-amp. Remember that if you plug this in at home, the air conditioner will not run off of 15 amps. So if you're just using a 15 amp service, it's going to pop a circuit breaker. Keep that in mind if you're hooking it up at home. All right, so there's two ways to get water to the trailer. I have a terrible glare on the screen here. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure I'm pointing the camera the right way here. Okay, so this is your regular city water hookup. This is the typical way you'd use it. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to hook up the hose here, turn on the valve, and you're pressurized, ready to go. Now, if you go to you're at a campsite that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, you can pre-fill your onboard water tank. You have a fresh water tank that carries water. You can fill it up right here and use the electric pump inside to pressurize the trailer. So even if you don't have plumbing on the campsite, if you plan ahead and fill your tank, you'll be able to operate just like you have city water. Your slide out, of course, which is in. These are your dump valves here. Oh, let's see what we got here. This one is the gray tank. Okay, so you have two tanks on this one. One is going to be probably a Galley Tank, which is also a gray tank. This one is operated separately. You put, like all the valves are gate valves, you pull them in and out. In is closed. So you would hook your hose up onto here and then just dump it. But if I back up a little bit, these are your two main tanks. That's the black and that's the gray. So the black tank is toilet water and waste. The gray tank is sink and shower water. So you put your hose on here, put the other end in the dump station, of course, and you'll dump your black tank first, just because it's dirtier water than the gray, that's all. So after it dumps, you'll pull the gray tank valve and dump it. Let me just turn that on a little bit there. Okay. You dump that second. and it just helps. It's dirty water, but it's not as dirty as the black tank water, so it'll just help you clean out the hose a little bit. Alright, so let me walk towards the back here. That's just a coax that goes through to the inside. You can use it for campground cable or whatever you choose to use it for. This is where your 30 amp power cord goes, your shore cord. Just put it in there and plug it in. This is the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in here, but you always want this line hanging out like that, because you want it, it's for condensation that's generated by the refrigerator, so you want it to drain to the outside. Alright, also, I'll look up so you can see I'm talking about the roof here. You have to inspect your roof at least 3 times a season. It's very important to do that. So you go up on the roof or have somebody else go up there, you check all the sealant on the roof. You're checking for separation or cracking, that sort of thing. Some years, sometime you're going to see that happening, and you're going to have to get it taken care of, alright? When it's new, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily need to be retouched up for some time, but the reason you inspect it, because you don't know that for sure. It's a trailer that's hand built and it flexes down the road, so you always want to keep on top of the roof inspection to make sure you don't get any water into your trailer. So it's very important to inspect it, and when you do eventually some year find an issue, you can have it taken care of immediately. Alright, also check on the sides any place you see caulk from the factory. This has something called clear Proflex on the side. Never use caulk from the hardware store. Always go to an RV place and get the correct stuff. Even if the hardware people tell you there's no difference, but there's a big difference. So you have to get the right caulk. Okay, so let's go inside. Alright, this is your controls here. We're going to just send the slide out here. I'm pushing out, obviously. Right now we're running off the battery, so just to show you, you can operate the slide room off the battery if you have to bump it out to get up front or get to the bathroom, whatever, and you're just stopping for a rest. You can always just, you don't have to plug it in, you can just use the battery. So also, this particular slide out is called, the brand of it or the type is called an AccuSlide. Just so you know, there are different kinds. You have an AccuSlide. Okay, alright. Okay, so that's back to the controls here. So these are just speakers inside and out. Lights here. This is to extend and retract your power awning. I won't run it out all the way, but I'll show you. You see, I'm extending it. It'll go out 8 feet. And you roll it out till you see the awning tube, basically. It'll keep unfurling the fabric, and then when the fabric runs out and you see the awning tube, that's 8 feet. You'll know that you're all the way out and you just stop. Bring it in, you just hold it till it hits the side of the trailer. Like that. Okay? Okay, good. Your radio, while we're standing here, is it's an AM/FM radio, of course, but you can stream off of this USB here, so you can, you know, take all your favorite albums with you and put them on one USB drive, and you'll have that at your access to that. And this also has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or your tablet. So you can stream that way. There's 2 speaker zones, Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 1 is inside the trailer, Zone 2 is on the outside of the trailer. Let me look through this here while there is a remote that comes with this. I'll make sure it's in here as we go through it. So it does a lot. This HDMI is an in, for example, so you can, if you need to go into the system with something else, like a game machine or something, if you're hooking it to your TV, you could go right in there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, your TV hookup is over here. You got a backer plate here to put a bracket. If you can, when you're buying a bracket, if you decide to get a swing out bracket, make sure you get one that, spend a little extra money and get one that locks into place. That way you don't have to hang straps and everything. It's much cleaner install. So this is your hookup for your TV right here. If you turn it on, it's green like that. That's the signal booster for the digital antenna. So you always want that on when you're using the antenna. Okay. And like I said, if you were to patch this through, I don't know how this is patched because I didn't work on it, but you can hook up a game machine, for example, and you could patch it right through the TV, and like I said, you can go into it through there if you need to with an HDMI. All right. The thermostat, you just hit it once to light it up. Then you're going to scroll through fan, air conditioner, and furnace, and off. Every one of those has a lag time of about 5 seconds or a little bit more. So when you hit air conditioner, it's not going to just immediately turn on. You got to wait a few seconds. So there is a lag time when you're turning them on and off, of course. This is your monitor panel. So your battery is 2/3 charged, but it will be charged because your tow vehicle charges it, plus it charges when you're plugged in. Remember I said we're running off a battery right now. Your fresh water tank is empty. You see it graduates up in 1/3 increments as it fills. It'll light up. Black tank, gray 1, and gray 2. Gray 2 is also referred to as a galley tank. It's for this sink right here. So it's great. It'll either refer to as gray tank number 2 or the galley tank, but it's a gray tank. All right. The other gray tank is for your bathroom, sink, and shower. All right. Let's see. There's more here. So the water pump, I told you can pump your onboard water. You also would use the pump when you're winterizing. You just turn it on like that. You only need to use this when you're not using city water. If you've got city water with water pressure, you don't have to turn on the pump or even think about it. The water heater, you can write it on gas or electric. Make sure that there's water in the tank, but this does work either on electric or gas. Keep in mind that most people will run it on electric because you're paying for the electricity at the campground and you're not going to be using up your propane. You could save it for cooking and for the furnace if it's cool and you need it. So, all right. While we're out here, I'm going to show you, this is the power converter. All right, so what this device does, it converts 110 AC down over to 12 volt DC. I don't want to say down because it's actually just over to DC power. So on this side you have regular household circuit breakers, right? And they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side, and you have 12 volt fuses here, and they're labeled. So if these fuses ever blew, they'll actually light up, and you can see them through this tinted plastic here, so you would know that's what happened. Also, this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your battery needs up front and always keep it charged. Okay. The refrigerator is a Dometic gas absorption refrigerator. Therefore, it will run on 110 AC or it will run on LP gas. Either way. So you turn it on like that. Then this is the selection button. So the mode you'd select is auto. Auto means electric. The reason they call it auto is it always seeks out electricity 110 AC. If it can't find it, it'll automatically switch to gas. Or if you're using it on AC power and you have a power outage, it'll automatically switch over to gas. So it automatically seeks out electricity and it will switch to gas if it can't find it or loses power. Okay. You can run this dedicated on gas just by pushing this button, and it'll light on gas. Now this check light, if it comes on, it just means it faulted. You know, maybe there's a little air bubble in the line, whatever. If that ever happens, you're just gonna turn it off and turn it back on and let it cycle through more time, and it'll light for sure. It rarely falls. Okay. Also, there's one last thing. To set the temperature in this device here is a thermistor. You can see that the sticker says the higher you go with it, the cooler it gets in the fridge. Now this piece, let me see if I can get my hand back here. This piece right here is just a clip that holds the thermistor. The thermistor is actually the cylinder on the end of this wire that's held in by this clip. So you slide it up and down. What you're sliding up and down is actually the thermistor, the cylinder that's on the end of the wire. That's what you pay attention to. It can fall out, it can come loose, a kid can grab it and pull it and it'll come right off. But it's made to do that, so you would just stick it back into the little holder here, and then you would clip it back on and you're all set. So generally speaking, you're going to have it up all the way. Okay. Let me just shut it off for now. Microwave works like any other microwave. That's your range hood, vent, and light. This you just light with a lighter, so you just turn the gas on and spark it with your lighter, and that's all you have to do. Always keep the glass top down when you're traveling, or it tends to want to break if you don't. You can remove the poles from the bottom of the table and then just drop the tabletop down onto these cleats here. There's on each side and on the back. And it converts to a bed, and you can fill in the empty space with the back cushions, and you got a bed there. Plus, of course, you have your main bed here. like I said, I'll switch back gears a little bit here to winterization. You have to, if you don't already know how to winterize it, you can do it yourself. You would have to teach yourself. There's good online videos, that sort of thing. Or you could hire somebody to come in and do a winterizing on it. You know, a person who does that for a living, and they'll generally teach you how to do it also. The bottom line is you can't get water, or you can't get antifreeze into the water heater tank, because if you do, it leaves a really foul taste and a bad smell that won't go away. So to avoid doing that, they put valves on the back of the water heater. They're called bypass valves. So basically you would turn the valve so when you pump the antifreeze through the system, it bypasses the water heater. So you have to remember that you always want to bypass the water heater before you put antifreeze in there and while any antifreeze is in the system. Okay? And so that's important to learn that. You'll have to educate yourself a little bit on that. Also, there's another issue here, or another device. This is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector down here. It'll detect carbon monoxide buildup or LP gas. If it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, shut the gas off at the front of the trailer, and figure out what's going on. If it beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery is low. All right. The bottom line is it has to be green like that. You can self-test it if you ever want to. You just push the button on there and it'll run through 2 self-tests. But if it's not green, when it's sitting normally here, if it's not green, you want to get it serviced because it's an important thing. Now this is hardwired right to the battery. So even if you shut everything off in the trailer, all the lights off and everything, this will still draw power. So when you're in storage, it will drain your battery down. But like I said, your battery recharges. It's designed to be charged and drained and charged and drained, so your tow vehicle will recharge it, or when you're plugged in, your power converter will recharge it. Okay. All right. Now the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. This GFCI here, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through this, even the one on the outside. So if you're using something outside and it pops, you would come in here and reset it, no matter which plug you use, and you'd reset it right here in the bathroom. All right. Also, you have a fan here, so you want to run it when you use the shower also, because you want to pull the humidity out, because these things are built very tight, and you don't want it to get super humid, so you could develop mold or mildew, that sort of thing. Also, this toilet flushes with this flush pedal right here. We're not hooked up any water right now, so there's no water going through it. But the thing is, you have to have some water in this toilet plus chemical before you use it. So when you get to the campground, you're going to pull into your spot, hook up the water, hook up the power, level the trailer, all that sort of thing. Then you'll come inside and you'll dump your chemical, 1 dose of it right in here, whichever chemical you use, whatever brand or type you use. Then you'll stand on the pedal and it'll wash it down, and water will be swirling out, and you'll put about 1 gallon of water in the tank. There's no way to tell exactly what 1 gallon is, just use common sense, because it has to have some water in there and chemical before you start using it. Now let's say but just by the way, that's the black tank directly below when you open it like that, okay? So let's say you're going to stay at the campsite, but you had to dump it because you still got another week there, but you had to dump your black tank. So because it's empty, you started with an empty black tank. Now you would come back in here and repeat that procedure. You put the chemical in there and 1 gallon or 2 of water. All right. Also, when you flush it, it'll only fill about up to here, but there's a spot here. If you look at the pedal, you can move it this far before the trap opens. That will activate the water valve, so you can fill it up and put as much water as you want in there before using it. All right. You just have to do that each time. All right. I think we've got it now. Let me see here. Let me look around. Yes, I think we've got it. So, every appliance in here has a manual. Plus, you can use manufacturer's videos. You just write down the manufacturer and the model number, and you'll be able to find all kinds of literature and videos on each appliance if you need to refresh your memory on it. You can always call us and talk to us. Also, we can talk you through just about anything. If you have issues with it that you need repair, you set up a service appointment and we'll take care of you there. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit, and please keep in mind you have to inspect the roof. They recommend 3 times a season at least, and it'll take you longer to drag the ladder over there than it will just inspect the roof. It goes very quickly. And always bypass your water heater before you pump any antifreeze in there too. So, okay, thank you very much.